What's up everybody, we're back with another video. In today's video, I'm going to go ahead and move Flame from tiny little tank. I'm going to try and see how well he does in the 180 gallon tank. Just because I'm going to free that up and actually have one dedicated quarantine tank for new fish or for sick fish, because at the moment my quarantine tank, which is the cube tank, is occupied, so I need to have another tank. Flame isn't big enough where he can hurt a lot of the fish. He is quite aggressive, but there are plenty of fish in here, so hopefully this will diffuse the aggression. Difference between the Vieja and Flame is definitely the size, so the damage he will do is much less, and as well as the fact that there are plenty of fish for him to get distracted by. I also think it will be a nice change up because he is a really nice fish, and maybe this tank will do him good. He might put on some better size, his nuchal hump might grow some more, his colors might become more vibrant, so I just want to see if it works. I did try this in the past, and he heckled the gourami, so I removed him, but I think that might have just been the jitters of working out new fish in a new aquarium to balance out the power scale, so I might let him do that again and see after a week or so, hopefully it might settle down and it might be okay. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to move this whole tank, the aquariums and the stand, and I'm going to move it to this corner so that it's flush with the window. The reason for this is because I'm getting quite a lot of algae breaking out here, and that's fine, but it's just more work for me to try and clean, and that's because simply this allows a lot of the sunlight through, whereas as you can see at the back, the entire aquarium is covered in essentially what is a tablecloth or a table liner or something. I remember buying this online. So that will prevent algae from building up on the glass and on the bottom. So it will help this look a lot nicer. Plus, when this is here, it's close to the door. So instead of me having to drain all the water into a bucket, which I usually put on the floor, I can just grab my hose and kind of just stick it out the window or stick it out the door, and I can just let the water flow, and it'll just be a lot easier for me because I have to try and move water from this tank all the way there, and that's tiring enough. Plus it'll free up some space, which there's nothing in the works at the moment, but it might give me some more space to do something with a bigger tank or anything if I want to, because this is a 4-foot aquarium, but as you can see there's space wasted on this side, there's space wasted there. It's because the stand is 2 foot, and never mind that. But this will then move 2 aquariums to one side and hopefully be a bit better. So I'm gonna go ahead and start draining these aquariums and try and slide this over. So wish me luck. I'll catch you guys in a sec. Right, so here we are, we're draining out the bottom tank first, because what we're gonna do is we're gonna try and lower the water level as much as we can, slide this entire thing out, and then we're going to drain the water in this tank and try and move this tank plus whatever little water's in there without that, just to make it that bit easier. So we're currently in the process of draining the water. I don't know how long this is actually going to take. This can hold about 145 litres if I'm not mistaken. It does say somewhere, I will double check. That is about 180 litres at full. It wasn't full, so maybe 160 litres. So we can take out most of the water in this aquarium. Probably just take out this water and act as if I'm doing a water change, and what I'll do is I'll split the remainder of this water when putting it back into these 2 tanks, so half will go there, half will go there, and then essentially just do a 50% water change of both aquariums. Alright, I'll update you guys once we finish draining this tank and we've moved it off. See you then. Alright, so here we are, we've kind of moved everything around. What I went ahead and did was actually, you can see the net in there, I moved all the fish that were in this tank and I moved them into here. As this is filling up, once this is completely filled up with water, I'm actually going to introduce these guys into here, and I'll explain why. Alright, so basically what the original plan was, I was going to get my new fish, which should be coming. I keep on saying it's going to come soon, it's going to come soon. I actually don't know when it's going to come. It just depends on COVID essentially, but when it does come, it's going to go in this tank. But what I was actually going to do is I was going to put Flame in this tank, which you're currently sitting on, which is the one that's been moved around, and kind of see how that worked. But Flame isn't the smallest fish in the world, and he's fairly aggressive. So I'm kind of worried about what he's going to do to the silver dollars. So I decided I'm going to still add the new fish in here. I'm going to move Flame into the big tank like I've already said. I'm going to try that out. And then I'm going to move all these smaller fish into here because I know that the new fish isn't going to be able to eat them, especially when it comes in at the size. It's going to be slightly bigger than these guys, but it's not going to be able to do anything. It's not a very aggressive fish. So these guys, the Vieja and the African cichlids, are going to do really well in this tank. The African cichlids getting to about 6 inches, Vieja getting to about 1 foot. But this will now be, you'll be able to see them a lot better in this tank. So I decided let me do that instead, and now I've got 2 tanks that are clear for quarantining, and in case it doesn't work out with Flame, Flame can now go in the tank that's sitting below this one. So things are starting to work out, and we'll see how it goes, but that is what my thinking is at the moment. So hopefully everything goes alright, and Flame can stay in the big tank, but if not, now he has this other tank that's down below that he can actually sit in. So fingers crossed this works, and I'll show you guys once all the fish are added in, once the tank's all set up properly. I should give you guys a look at the big tank once Flame's in there as well. So I'll catch you guys in a sec. Let's try and get this all done with. Alright, we're back and it's the next day. So as you can see, Flame is in the 180. He's doing alright. He has given the gourami a few nips on his anal fin, but it seems to be alright. For the most part, like I said, I will be keeping an eye on this, just to keep an eye on the aggression, because obviously what happened with the Vieja, aggression was quite bad. Hopefully this time, because he's a smaller fish, like I've said, the aggression won't be too bad. But now if we pan over here, the tank has been moved and it's looking really good. So now all the fish have gone into hiding because I switched off the lights, but they are doing a lot better in terms of they are much more comfortable being out in the open when the lights are off. So let me go ahead and switch off the lights. And I'll come back to this tank in a second when they start to come out again. But yeah, so that is pretty much, you know, this tank and this tank are now proper quarantine tanks. They're completely empty. Again, the Vieja's down there. So, no, just want to experiment, see how it goes with these guys. I just thought that it would be better, like I said, for him to be in this tank. He might be able to grow a bit faster. He's got way more space in here. Plus, I get to see him a lot more now because he's got some lovely colors. Where is he? There he is. And you know, he's just a really, really great fish to look at. So I decided, let's go ahead and introduce him to the tank that pretty much you see the most on this channel, as well as I see, because the door is right there. So that's the first thing you see, is like essentially you walk in and this is the first thing you see. And then you pan over and you see that tank over there. So it looks really, really lovely. So like I said, these guys come out now and the lights are off. More or less everyone comes out. Beforehand, the parrotfish was always hiding. And this tank has ended up being a really, really nice tank. I don't know how well this comes up on camera, but there is in this, like, there's that line, and that's pretty much where the natural light is filtering in through this window. So this tank does get plenty of natural light, and in all fairness, it looks really, really good because it's not too bright, which doesn't stress out the fish, but there is enough light that when I come into here, I can still see the fish quite clearly. Like, as you can tell, this tank gets no light whatsoever. These tanks get hardly any light because they're much lower down, and when the tank was on this wall here, it wasn't getting as much light, and so it was difficult to see. Excuse the PJs that you can see through the reflection, but yeah. These guys are looking much better. The silver dollars are much more comfortable when I'm not around. But like, I mean, when I'm not so close to the tank, sorry. But because we've got now all the Vieja and the African cichlids in here, they are helping to act as dither fish and bringing out the rest of these guys, which looks really, really nice. Alright, so I'm about to wrap up this video, but I wanted to end on some good news. And that is the fish that I've been talking about for weeks and weeks has finally been given the go-ahead to be delivered. It's going to be coming either Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday next week. Today is Thursday. Just for record, it's Thursday, 14th of January, 2021. And pretty much, you're going to be watching this video, I think, on the 20... Let me just check my calendar, one sec. Yeah. You're probably going to be watching this on the 29th of January. So the good news is for you guys is that the next video to come out is most likely going to be, in fact, not even most likely, 100% going to be on this new fish, which I'm super excited for. And obviously it's going to be going into this tank, which ends up working out really nicely because we moved everything, so we don't now have to move this tank with the new fish in it, or we don't have to wait, 2-3 weeks, wait for these fish to acclimate, because obviously they would get stressed out. And I'm super excited to show you guys what I'm getting, and these fish are kind of going a bit wild now because I've been standing in front of the tank for way too long. So I hope you guys have enjoyed today's video. And I hope you guys have liked what I've done with the room, just to kind of break it up, move some fish around, add the fish to this tank, make it a bit more community-based, add the flower home to this tank, make it a bit more monster tank-based. And like I've said, opening up this space will lead to new things happening in the future. Like, come summertime, we will probably be doing another big tank, even bigger than this tank, sort of build, but I can't guarantee anything just yet. But yeah, that is what my hope is for. So, I hope you guys are keeping safe, and as always, peace out.